Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beards and Bitcoins. We are a crypto podcast for the man's man, and yes, the ladies that love them. I am joined today, as always, with my co-host BitBoy. This is a kind of a, I wouldn't say special episode, critical episode, something like that, but we are really going to be focusing a lot about coronavirus. But really quick, man, how are you doing?
I mean, I got a case a mile from me, and I think my dad may have it, honestly.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's talking about he's really sick, went in the emergency room, came home. He's in a county where I know that there, are some suspected cases. So I'll have to, keep you guys updated on that. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But yeah, I mean, it's dangerous times. I've been quarantined. I mean, we haven't left our house in a week, and people have been calling us extreme. But days like today, where there's been some huge breaking news, yeah, I'm the one that's looking a little bit smarter. The people that are not panicking but being prepared for this are the ones that are being a little bit smarter. So we thought today, instead of talking about Bitcoin, instead of talking about crypto, instead of trying to talk about a menial token where we have much larger problems in the world right now, we thought we would really focus on this, talk about it, talk about everything that's going on. If you guys don't know, I have a second channel where I talk about the coronavirus. It's called Facts CEO, or CEO of Facts, on YouTube. And I'll be live streaming, from there every day. But something really huge just happened today. So some big breaking news, something that we had actually talked about a week ago. And you're about to tell us what that is, because you actually have some inside info on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys follow March Madness, I mean, it's one of the premier events that happens throughout the month of March, and pretty much everywhere in the world is paying attention. They are going to be playing with no fans. The NCAA just announced today that all games will be played fanless. It's going to be players, essential personnel, and limited family. So this is going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy month of March for collegiate basketball. It's going to crazily affect my job because my company provides all the charter buses for all the groups that travel throughout this whole experience. So cutting down on fan sizes, group sizes, band and cheer, we don't really know what's going to happen. We know that something was going to happen, but man, crazy. Can you imagine March Madness with no fans?
No, absolutely not. It's so insane to fathom that. And I love March Madness. It's in Atlanta this year. So I was actually going to probably go with the last time it was here, the Final Four. I went to the championship game, and then the time before that, I went to the semifinal games. And now I'm not going to get the opportunity to do that. I'm not going to get the opportunity to take my kids there. And it's just really sad. And this is where we really start getting into the financial repercussions of all this, which is, the NCAA tournament is a $1 billion per year business. And now not only are the stadiums, arenas not making the money from the fans coming there, the cities like Atlanta that see an influx of people, they're not going to be making money from all that, the restaurants, the bars in the area, the Georgia World Congress Center that sells T-shirts and all kinds of stuff. And then you also have, like I said, the NCAA itself losing out. What kind of financial impact do you think that this is going to have on the NCAA?
Oh, dude, it's crazy. I mean, this is like their budget, right? Like they make their budget in the month of March with D1 men's basketball. There's very few within college sports. There are very, very few that actually either are break even or turn a profit. I think it's like 4. It's like wrestling, baseball, softball, or I think it's wrestling, baseball, women's volleyball, and men's basketball. They're the only sports that turn. Football's not owned by the NCAA. The conference is individually owned football.
Right.
Yeah. So they don't make a dime.
Wow.
Off of any of that college football stuff, which is crazy. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how all this goes.
Yeah, and we're also seeing that the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, are going to be playing in front of no fans. We just got news that, what else got canceled? Something just got canceled a few minutes ago. They canceled the Chicago and Boston St. Patrick's Day parades.
Yeah, I pretty much this morning.
Yeah, pretty much anything that can happen is getting canceled.
Yeah, well, so they just recently canceled South by Southwest here in Austin, which, dude, that's huge. But like 85% of the people that attend South by Southwest come from international destinations. So, I mean, to invite that many people here from, because it's like a place to get to. Well, so it's like 3 different things. It's like film. It's interactive film and music, right? So you've got it's like a tech conference, it's a film conference, and then it's a music conference. It's a music showcase. So it's people, like in the music industry, trying to make it So they get, they do, and they do showcases here, right? So like maybe within an hour, you'll hear like 3 different bands. So it's like, over the course of the 2 weeks, like, I mean, it's just insane. But like the city of Austin, they're the ones who canceled it, and the company that puts on ACL, or excuse me, South by Southwest, like they've had to fire a third of their staff. The city, I think whatever they said in the news the other night, it's like $350 million that is lost on this event. South by Southwest getting canceled. I mean, there's just financial repercussions everywhere.
Well, what about the Olympics? The Olympics are going to get canceled. That's $24 billion.
Oh, that's insane.
They're talking
Are
about,
they going to postpone it?
They can't postpone it month-wise because of the schedule of the athletes and the games that, the seasonal games, whatever. They're talking about they will have to maybe put it on next year, or, I mean, I don't know. They're talking about maybe skipping it. I mean, it's crazy. We haven't got to that conversation with Japan yet because Japan has not had the same level of outbreak that other places around it has. It's still, let me pull up the map here. It still has a lot of cases for its size, but it hasn't had the same level that like South Korea had. If this was South Korea, it'd be canceled for sure.
100%.
So I'll pull that up here in just a second. Before we get back to talking about cancellations, we do want to say a very special thank you to the sponsor of our show, Monarch. We want to thank them. They are the sponsor of the Beards and Bitcoins podcast. Monarch Wallet, rule your own financial kingdom from the palm of your hand.
That's right, man. The team at Monarch, they are working hard to bring you the one app to access all of the best crypto services. These guys, what's really cool is that they believe in delivering tech, not hype.
Absolutely. With the universal decentralized Monarch Wallet, you can buy, store, spend, and earn crypto. With Monarch Pay, you can also set up and accept recurring crypto payments.
Nice. Well, if you're looking for more information, make sure you check out monarchwallet.com or monarchtoken.io today.
Absolutely. So Monarch, a silver lining on a cloudy day here. But we're gonna talk about Japan for a second, because Japan, it's crazy to me. They only have 581 cases there, which puts them below countries like Norway, Switzerland. There's 600. To put this in perspective, there's 696 infected people on a cruise ship. So there's more people on a cruise ship than on the whole country of Japan. But I still can't see, if that entire area of the world is broken out, then I can't see them doing the Olympics, because it's not just what's happening in Japan, it's where are people coming from.
Right. That's what they said, with a lot of these cancellations, and, with some of the arguments that they're making, is that, you might be fine. You're guys like me, you and I, we'd be fine. You might get sick. It might take you down for a couple of days, but it's not about that. It's about who we could spread it to. I think, and another crazy announcement that came out today, I think the World Health Organization, WHO, they actually announced it and confirmed that it's a global pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a global pandemic, which means that basically that no continent, no country, no area, no contaminated place has been able to contain the virus. And it just keeps spreading and keeps spreading. So there are a lot of bad diseases we've seen in the history of the world, but so even some of the worst have not been considered to be pandemics. You go back, you look at the bubonic plague, the Black Death, the Spanish flu. Those were also pandemics. But going back to, did you also hear that the Houston rodeo was canceled?
Yeah, it's just so sad to me.
You love that, don't you?
Man, I love the rodeo. If you've never been to a rodeo, holy smokes, I hope you should go. And if you've got little kids, even boys and girls, it doesn't matter. They should do mutton busting. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah? Mutton busting?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
It's where, you guys can see, Justin has the corona, so.
I do. I've got like this dry cough. Every now and then my throat gets a little dry. No, I'm kidding. No, mutton busting is super cool. So it's like, I want to say it's like 3 to 6 year olds. They all usually wear their little Western wear and then what looks like a hockey helmet, and they ride on the back of a sheep bareback and see how long they can hold on. Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I know I used to sell a lot of tickets to the Houston rodeo when I was in the ticket business. So I know it's a big event. San Antonio rodeo as well. So I know when people hear Houston rodeo, they just think like, oh, they canceled the rodeo, big deal. But it's like a festival. It's like 30 days, I think.
Huge.
and
Yeah,
huge
it's like the whole
concerts with
month.
huge named artists. But do you know who was going to be there this year?
I did. I don't know. It's
You don't know.
big names though. Some big
Yeah.
country and some big artists that you would know who they are.
Yeah. Let's see who the lineup was going to be. It says Rodeo Houston stars react to cancellation on social media. Let's see who there. Kane Brown was going to be there. He's a big country artist. John Pardee is another big country artist. I mean, obviously, it's mostly country artists, but it's not all country artists for sure. Definitely some pop acts there as well, and some Hispanic music is there as well. So
Oh,
definitely
dude, like
sucks to see
listening to
that
like
happen.
mariachi and like, dude, when you're like at the rodeo, like, dude, it is so cool. You get some. Last time I went to the San Antonio rodeo and I got myself a new Stetson. Actually,
Nice.
sir, that was the Stetson that you wore when you came down here when we went to the Bitcoin Ben meetup
Also
when we were
canceled.
playing. It's canceled.
The Bitcoin Ben meetup is also canceled. Yeah.
Oh man, everything's canceled.
Yeah, I know, man. But yeah, definitely wear the cowboy hat. And you got to admit, I looked great in the cowboy hat.
Dude, I thought that there were striking similarities between you and Hank Williams Jr. I mean,
Hey,
I had a few beers, but I could have swore, man, that you were him reincarnated.
if we had came together and I had the few beers, then we would have been much closer to Hank Williams Jr. for sure. But I got to agree, I looked great. I wanted to go through a whole country phase, but I got back here to the city and realized, I mean, I want to do it when I'm in the country, but I don't know if I got the balls really to be dressing up like a cowboy everywhere I go. But let's talk a little bit more about how this is affecting Bitcoin. I mean, obviously, you know, crypto is secondary right now, and I need you guys to all understand that. Like, I'm still making crypto content, but right now, what's happening with the world of cryptocurrency in our little bitty niche corner of the world, it's basically like saying, you know, it's basically like worrying about anime or something at this point. I mean, it's such a small
Right.
concern compared to people's lives. And we've seen Bitcoin drop tremendously over the last week, 10%. And we were told, right, that it was a hedge against this kind of stuff. And now here we
Yep.
are facing a world crisis, and it's not faring too well.
No, it's not. Yeah, like you said, 10% down in the last 7 days. Um, you know, and there was, I know, some obvious market manipulation. Did you hear that thing about there was like a Chinese well, a
Plus
Ponzi
token.
scheme that
Yeah.
yeah, they dumped what, like $100 million worth of Bitcoin onto the market. So
108, yeah, $118 million dumped by Plus Token, and I believe that's true. I think that really is why it happened, why the drop happened. But in a roundabout way, it's still about Corona because why do you think they were cashing out?
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You know,
Um, yeah, it's crazy. So it's interesting, you know, like you said, like it was supposed to be the hedge against kind of, you know, when market cycles in your traditional financial systems may experience some rocky roads, that it was supposed to be protected from that. But obviously we can see that it's not.
yeah, yeah, definitely. We want to be Bitcoin at a we want Bitcoin to be at a place where I feel like it's just not at yet, and it's very unfortunate because this could have been an asset where people could, you know, look at as a hedge. So even if they did drop the price, the fact is now, regardless of whether that was literally the cause or not, even though those of us crypto nerds know that probably was a big culprit, people on the outside, they don't know any of that stuff. So they're like, see, it's not, you know, and what do we need? We need new people to come in. So right now what they're looking at is, why would I invest in Bitcoin? It's dropping just like everything else.
Yeah. I mean, not as much, but yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a new investor, I'd probably shy away right
Well,
now.
I mean,
Or
who
no, this
knows?
is the time to buy. Like this is like
Yeah.
it's like a garage sale. I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta find those good plays. I mean, I'm looking to see, you know, what's down like, you know, 20%, because then you know you're gonna get a nice little scoop. I mean, it's risky. Don't listen. This is not financial
You
advice. I
know
mean,
you're going to get a pump, huh?
well, you know it's gonna come back. The market will come back at some
Yeah,
point.
it will. Well, I'm telling you, man, I got people that are on the outskirts of cryptocurrency that like own crypto but aren't in crypto. And they're sending me messages and asking me like they're saying they're considering selling right now. Like people who've had it for
Oof.
years, they're considering selling just because they're scared of where the overall market is going, not just crypto.
Right, right. I mean, it's probably a safer bet than I mean, cash is cash, right? Like, I mean, but if the United States is going to start printing, you know, buckets of
Yeah.
money, it's not going to do much for you. But in a time of crisis, it's better to have cash than credit, because if God forbid the electricity goes out, the grid goes out, what are you going to do? Yeah, I mean, even with Bitcoin, I
Carry
might
my
have
Smith and
20
Wesson.
Bitcoin in my. Ooh, dude, I got so much 22 LR ammo that if I get locked, if we get like locked in the house, or it becomes like an automatic quarantine, like I'll be able to hunt and barter and.
Yeah, that's good. You'll go get one of them Corona deers.
Let me ask you a question. Is it going to be transmitted through water? Like,
Okay, so
say
this is
you've got
very interesting.
coronavirus. So you say you got the coronavirus and you're dumping into your toilet, and then it's just going to go into the wastewater. Obviously, they clean that, but is it like immune to all of that?
Okay, this is something that's very interesting. This is where my intense Corona knowledge comes in to benefit people like you.
Ooh, I like this.
Okay, so there is a case in, I believe, China, where the only thing that the people who had it had in common were the pipes. And the long and the short of it is that what they had figured out, or what they believe happened, the people that investigated this, is that it wasn't the water itself, but somehow the coronavirus had managed to attach itself to pipes and basically crawl along the pipes and get into different people's locations.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Zombie apocalypse type stuff, isn't it? I mean, guys, we don't know where this is going.
We could be talking about that in like 3 years.
Yeah. Well, and this is to me, like, okay, just the flu bros. That's what they call them, just the flu. Like, and you know what? I made this tweet on Twitter. Of course, that's where I made it. But this is very true. It was like the year's 1918. And your friend says, it's just the flu. What do you do? Now, if you didn't know, 1918 was the year of the Spanish flu that actually started in China, not in Spain. But that's where they had, I think, the biggest amount of breakouts, the fastest. And it spread all across the world. It killed 50 million people in 2 years. 50 million. It had killed 25 million people in 25 weeks. That's how fast that thing moved. It way faster than what we're seeing now. Now, at one point, Corona was ahead of its curve, but we are now a little bit behind its curve, okay? But you got to remember, that really was the flu. That was literally exactly the flu. And the dangerous thing about that virus, or about that flu, compared to other types of flus, was that flu, for some reason, was sparing children, who are usually the most susceptible. I think it was also killing elderly, but it was sparing children and people with weak immune systems, but it was killing healthy young adults.
That's crazy. It was like the selective, like,
yes,
that's nutty.
So you and I would be the most susceptible to die from the Spanish flu, which, luckily we haven't seen that strain since then. But here's the thing. Everyone recognizes, doctors pretty much agree, that this virus is here to stay. This is not this is not, a one and done. A lot of people think this is basically our new version of the flu. Like, we're going to have the flu and this every year. So every year you're like, oh, well, did you get the flu? And the people are like, no. Now you're going to have to be like, did you get the flu? Well, did you get the corona? Because it's here to stay. Now, luckily, we are looking at having vaccines by hopefully the time next year. But imagine this. This is what people don't understand. The Spanish flu was a severe strain of the flu. These viruses have severe strains. We have a 3.5% mortality rate right now for a coronavirus. What if we get a strain that's 10 times more severe?
Because that's what happens, right? Don't they mutate and they become different and they become stronger and all that?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's why you see different years of the flu that are terrible. Like, I believe 2018 was a really bad year for the flu. I think we had more people die than normal. I think last year we only had 6,300 people die from the flu. It's very small. Now, I did see a congressman say that every year there's 350 million cases of the flu in America.
So does that mean everyone gets it?
The population, 327 million. So I don't think his math was right there.
It was a little off. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Unless we all catch it like 1.15 times. I don't think those numbers were correct. But I mean, the long and the short of it is I implore everyone who is listening to this podcast to take this seriously. Don't be it's just the flu guy. Do you really believe that the NCAA would cancel a $1 billion per year event? Well, I mean, they're still playing the games with no fans, but right now, but that could change if a couple players get it. Okay. So that's what you got to see. Like the NCAA tournament could still end up being canceled completely. Okay. That's what Italy's just had to do. They've gone from playing inside with no fans to canceling sporting events completely. So do you think that they would cancel a $1 billion per year event over the flu?
No. I mean, it's, you know, there's obviously there's arguments on both sides of the spectrum, right? Like you could say like, yes, you know, it's like, oh, when the hurricanes are coming and then all of a sudden it's just like a thunderstorm, right? Yes, they want to over prepare you so that you're not caught with your pants down in case it is bad. But I just don't know, man. Like, you know, it's one of those things like like so at first I think I was like I wasn't even it's just the flu, bro. I was just like whatever, like
Yeah.
what am I going to worry about this? And then, you know, things get worse and worse and worse. And then they call it a global pandemic. And then like things like that affect my life or things that are in my life are start to be affected. It's like, okay, well, like today, like my wife and I, we went out and we went and bought like 2 weeks worth of pasta and rice and beans and all sorts of other bullshit like water and stuff so that we could, God forbid, we're locked in our house for a few weeks. We've got it. You know, if that would have happened today or yesterday, we would have been screwed. We wouldn't have had anything. And we did it. So, you know, so we prepared, but like, I'm not necessarily like a prepper or like one that would do this. But I mean, you know, like you said, man, you gotta take this seriously.
You do. And that's like, it's not panic. It's being prepared. And I've been telling people on my TikTok to be prepared for this for 10 days now. Because I've seen what's coming. Because if someone just finds my TikTok account and they're like, oh, look at this guy, he's riding this media hype, he's talking about the coronavirus, blah, blah, they would probably assume that I'm an alarmist. They would probably assume that I'm like a prepper or that I am a person that like when swine flu was here or when, SARS was here or bird flu or West Nile virus, that I was like, whatever. I had the same exact attitude with those that you had going into this one. Who cares? It's not going to affect me. It's over there in Asia. But what happened is you started seeing it spread to other countries. And I've been doing these updates on the coronavirus every day on my new channel and on TikTok. And I've been able to watch the spread day by day. And what's going on in Italy? People in Italy are warning us. They're saying, please take this serious. You do not want to be where we're at.
The country's on lockdown. Like, have you ever heard of a country going on lockdown, an entire country? And this is like, you know, this isn't some stone hut community. I mean, this is
not a communist country. I mean, it's a very
they're a developed country.
Yeah, top of the world country, and they're all completely locked down. And that's our future. And these spreads are only going to get worse. And I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. What we're being told about this, as much as people want to believe that it's media hype, the truth is it's far worse than is being reported to us. I know a pharmacist whose sister is a nurse. She's a traveling nurse. She goes around to different hospitals across the country for, contract periods. So she goes all across the country. She told us last night that she went to a hospital and that hospital had 60 positive tests.
Ooh.
Do you want to know how many, and that's in Georgia. Do you want to know how many cases are in Georgia right now?
7 or 8?
No, like 22, I think.
Like according
23.
to the map?
23. So these cases aren't getting reported. Okay, not all of them are getting reported. I think they're waiting until they get second and third confirmations before they're reporting them. And these numbers are not accurate. And people try to make the argument, they say, oh, well, the truth is that, you're only hearing these numbers because, these are only confirmed tests. And I'm like, well, what you're implying is that there's actually more people walking around there with it. There's a lot more. And that's true. They say the number in the United States could be much closer to 5,000 than 1,000. They're saying that in some countries, it is way higher than they're reported. I mean, just in the last 2 hours, we've added another 150 cases.
If you're a blockchain developer, you should start working on a test that'll put the results on the blockchain so they can't be fudged.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you still got to rely on the doctors to put in the numbers, but yeah, I think it is much worse than it's being reported to us, and that's troubling. I mean, we're seeing how bad it is, and I talked to my son's soccer coach last night, and I said, listen, we're not coming to practice this week. We have, I think, 5 cases in my county, 1 a mile from me. I said, we're not coming to practice this week. And I said, and I will tell you that I believe that by this time next week, this won't even be an issue, because I believe by this time next week, there will be no practice. You won't be allowed to
cancel all the youth leagues and everything.
Yeah, that's what we're going to see. High school sports, college sports. Think about this. If college sports are being affected, bet your bottom dollar, kids sports are going to be. And let me tell you one thing that really concerned me. Oh, I feel like we talk about my kid's soccer team a lot, but this weekend he went and played, which, by the way, they have turned around and won some games now. So
nice. Good for them.
Yeah, my son scored his first goal. It was a great goal too. I mean, it was
how fun.
It was awesome. But anyways, we were at the soccer game on Saturday because we didn't go anywhere last week. But on Saturday, I said, you know what? I want him to play. Like, maybe we're being a little too cautious. Let's go. But what I observed at that soccer field was enough for me to know that we're doing all the right stuff. After the game on Saturday, once this news is already starting to break out, last week we were talking about maybe canceling the NCAA tournament. On Saturday, after a soccer game, the kids lined up and shook hands after the game. Ooh. No one thought that was weird. I was the only person that ran over there and was like, don't touch anybody, don't touch anybody. The coaches, the referees, and the parents, not a single one of them thought anything about it. I saw the flag from the corner, like for corner kicks, had fallen on the ground, and I was standing near it because I was off by myself. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pick this up. And I started to reach down and pick it up, and I said, wait, nope. Somebody else can come get that. You know?
Yeah, that's someone else's job. Just stay away. Don't invite that into your
I'm doing everything I can. I don't want this dang thing.
No, not at all.
And not because, not because I'm not scared I'm going to die of it at all. I'm trying to do my part as a servant to the United States. I'm trying to do my part for my grandparents and for
not to spread it.
Yeah, not to spread it.
And for your neighbor's grandparents.
Exactly. And I have a niece that has a weak immune system. She was born as a twin prematurely, and the other twin died. And she survived barely, and she has a super weak immune system. I think she's 5. If she got it, it would be bad news. So when they're talking about possibly 25 to 50% of America getting this,
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Did you see those numbers that Dan had shared from Twitter? It was from a Business Insider report that leaked an internal hospital document that showed the total estimates that the hospital system is planning to deal with. And it's 96 million Americans having it, 2 million Americans needing hospitalization, or maybe it was higher than that. Maybe it was closer to 10. And then the estimate on number of deaths was 500,000.
Jeez Louise, man.
Yeah. But think about 9/11, where we had 3,500 people die, and now think about this, like, people don't know, the number one killer in the history of the world that killed more people than and this is not to this point yet by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not trying to fearmonger here, but
right.
Has killed more people than war, has killed more people than natural disasters, has killed more people than everything we've seen in the world pretty much put together was the bubonic plague, the Black Death in the 1300s. It killed 200 million people.
Yo.
Yeah.
That would wipe out most of the country.
Yeah, that would be like if 3 out of 5 Americans died. That's what it would be like. So, and I don't know what the population number was at the time, but like then there was
350 million.
There was a plague in the year 165 that killed 5% of the world's population. I mean, there have been some bad things. So for us to think like we're so high tech, we're advanced, that stuff couldn't happen to us. Hey, if the wrong strain gets out there, there's no cure for this. Right. People don't realize that. There's no cure for the coronavirus. If you get it, you literally just have to let it play itself out. That's all. Like you go to the hospital, they'll hydrate you, but
just hope you don't die, man.
Yeah.
So do you think, like, are we all going to get it at some point?
I mean, probably throughout your lifetime. I mean, well, no, not necessarily, because the one good thing about all of this hysteria surrounding this is that when there is a vaccine, and I would like to talk about the vaccine for just a minute, but when there is a vaccine, everybody's going to get it, except for your anti-vaxxers.
I love, when this first came out, I love like the people like ripping on the anti-vaxxers were like, hey, why don't you go to China and show us what you're all about? Like,
I know a lot of anti-vaxxers. We know a lot of them. We think they're crazy. I hope they're not listening to the podcast. But, the fact is that there is a vaccine being developed right now, and it will be ready in China next month.
oh, wow.
But
Well, that's good.
well, it is good. It is good. And I think that when we're talking about like, are we heading to a recession, or are the markets going to be able to recover? I think that in itself could be really, really, really huge, because just having a vaccine that would work could stabilize things for us. And I'm just hoping we can get to the point where we can get that news before things go totally in the toilet, which it looks like they're going to. But once there is a vaccine, that's not the end all be all. I mean, you have to have tests, trials, and then disperse it, and then it's got to be, made, produced. So there's a lot of steps before everybody gets it. But once it is ready, which they say could take, 6 months to a year for normal, everyday people across the world to start using it, everybody, I'm getting it next year. I can tell you that much. Everybody's going to get it.
I don't know, man. I've never.
You're not going to get it?
I mean, I don't do the flu.
Me neither.
I mean, I don't like that. When I say that I have a strong immune system, like I don't get sick. Like I think the last time I got sick was probably like 5+ years ago.
Yeah.
And most of the time I don't put myself into compromised situations. I don't have any children, so I don't have any kids going to school. I don't rub my face a lot or let people sneeze on me. So
I want to rub it. Oh gosh.
Ooh.
I'll have to edit that out. Oops, forgot.
My beard's starting to grow back, which is nice.
You gotta understand, I mean, I'm the exact same way. I got sick. I had been sick before I had kids. I had been sick probably 3 times in, 20 years. Now I had kids, and when they were going to regular school before we started homeschooling them, I mean, there was probably about 6 months where I was getting sick. Like, I guess you would assume a normal person would. But since then, I mean, I haven't been sick since. So it's been about 3 years since I've had any kind of sickness, so I'm the same way. However, once again, if you do think about something like this that can mutate, and you think about the Spanish flu that was killing normal people, it makes me think, hey, like, do I really want to get it? No. Do I get the flu shot? No. But would I get the coronavirus vaccine because of how severe things have been this time? I think I would say yes. I probably would.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, you may have a totally different mindset on this in a month from now, too.
Things are fluid, man. Things are always changing.
Things are fluid for sure. So I hope we're not dealing with anything, crazy, terrible loss of life. Or I hope we can stave it off in America. But it does look like the economy is down. Bitcoin's questionable right now. I mean, we haven't passed through any major support levels that would indicate that we're going down below 6K or back to the bear market, whatever. But I think everyone would agree it doesn't look as great today as it looked a week ago.
No. And I honestly, with what you just said, like at this point, like if we're going to hang in the 7s, like I'd much prefer it drop into the 6s or the 5s, because then it gives, another buying opportunity. It's going to go back up at some point, but it's just, stagnant in the 7s sucks. Like it was nicer when it was up at 10 again. But
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's definitely better when it's up. It's better for business. It's better for, people watching the podcast or listening to the podcast or watching the channel, but unfortunately, we're just heading to very turbulent times, and we don't really know where things are going. So
hide your kids and hide your wife.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Well, that's all we got today. We just want to talk about the coronavirus because there's breaking news just left and right on it. We thought this is what probably most people, wanted to hear about. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. Jay, tell them where they can find us at.
Absolutely. You can find us. Our website is beardsandbitcoins.com. Please make sure you sign up for the 21 Bitcoin best practices guide. You can also find us on Twitter at beardsbitcoins. And then down in the show notes, there'll be links to find us other places. You can always find us on Telegram. What's the link for that?
t.me/beardsandbitcoins.
There you go. Come chat with us. We're always there. And it's livening it up, man. There's some cool folks in there chit-chatting all the time. So come join us.
Getting some chat. Absolutely. So we look to see you guys there, and we will see you guys next time.